Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome to my Blind Justice Daredevil guide for Marvel Heroes Omega for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now this is a nice simple in-game guide that makes heavy use of his tornado kick skill with its 100% brutal strike, and we also have some area of effect skills thrown in as well so we can take out the trash. Now what I'll showcase in this video is I will show off the skills and talents first. We will then have a look at the optimal synergies. We'll follow that up by looking at an infinity point allocation and where I would place the first 100 points. We then look at the general gear and priority, and we finish up with some gameplay. We have a run through of an operation with a full bounty clear. Now as always, in the description there are timestamps to all the sections I've just listed, so if you want to jump to any of them feel free to do so. Otherwise we'll start off by looking at the skills first. So for the skills here we have a very simple setup. On the main face buttons we have our moves that will be used in single target and buff tornado kick, and then on the L2 buttons these are more your actual area skills for taking out trash and your signature as well. But if we look at the main filler we're using, and we use this to generate combo points, it's Nunchuck Beatdown. Now it has a nice high attack speed, and on top of that you can get up to 20% attack speed buff when you use it there, so that really is great because it allows you to build the combo points even faster. Now once the points have been built, you will use jumping strikes. You'll jump in, you'll do bonus damage, and your crit hit chance goes up based on the number of points you spend. Now when you hit 5 points you get your radar ping where you do increased damage on a finisher or tornado kick. So the way you want to work it is build up your combo points, jump in, quickly build up your combo points once more for the radar ping, and then fire off tornado kick, and that means that has the 100% brutal strike chance, which is fantastic, but it will gain the damage bonus as well, and you'll still be at full combo points. So you then jump back to jump and strike again, and then build up your points and just really rinse and repeat that on bosses. Now when it comes to the L2 skills, we just use these really for trash. Now the first one we're looking at is actually Rebounding Club. So this works as a dot and it makes the enemy vulnerable, so it's good to throw this out quickly even when you're fighting bosses for the vulnerability as well. We then have Street Sweeper. So this one you'll bounce between the enemies and you'll hit more enemies based on the number of combo points you have, and it can work as a finisher, so you can use this just before using tornado kick as well if you wish. Final skill we look at is one that I use to clear trash, and you've got one or two options. The one I'm using is Relentless Justice because it allows us to stay mobile and take out trash. Alternatively you could use Whirling Club. That's pretty good for taking out trash, but the only thing is you stand still when you use it, so if the mobs move about it can be a little bit difficult to use. Now final skill we look at is your signature Devil's Due. So it's simple enough, it does a nice amount of damage, 3-second knockdown duration on it, and it generates max combo points. Now through the talent setup we've got, and actually the legendary setup, we can get the cooldown on this way down as well, so that really can help for pumping up our damage numbers. But next up what we'll do is have a look at the talents. First talent we have here then is Knockout Punch, and this will buff Jump and Strike, which is the main finisher we're using, and we're using it very often. Gives it an additional 25% critical damage. We then have Ring the Bell, so this will buff our main filler Nunchuck Beatdown, and it gives it 15% bonus damage and a stun chance on hit. The stun duration is 0.5 seconds. We then have Cycle of Violence, so when you use a finisher power at full combo points, which is very often, you gain 2% of your max health per second and 2% of your max stamina, so that really does help out a lot. We then have Fighting Rhythm, so with this one, Devil's Due cooldown is reduced by 1 second per combo point spent, and again, as mentioned, we'll be firing the combo points off very often due to the setup we have on the main face buttons for the skills. Now final talent, it's Combo Fighter, so this will buff your opener power damage, your finisher power damage, and also the trusty tornado kick as well, so you can really get huge numbers on that. But next up, let's have a look at the synergies. For the synergies here then, we always start off with the primary attributes, and on Daredevil that is speed and fighting, so that's covered by Angela and War Machine. We then have our more generic synergies of Blade, Hawkeye, Hulk, She-Hulk, and also Squirrel Girl, And then finally, the ones that work great on Daredevil being a melee hero would be Black Panther, because I also like the movement speed on him, Daredevil, and also Nightcrawler as well. They'll work fantastic. There's a few other characters that do have the 2% melee power damage, such as Widow, so you can use them in place of any of the 3 that I've just listed there. But next up, we'll now have a look at the infinity point allocation, and this is where we would place the first 100 points. For the infinity points then, for the first 100 points anyway, I am doing an even split and putting 50 in 2 different nodes. Now the first one is the Mind Gem, and this provides us with an extra 125 stamina. On top of that, the Mind Mastery is when you critically hit, you regenerate 0.5% of your maximum health. Now we really do need that extra stamina, because the way Daredevil works is he regains 10% of his total pool, so if you push that higher you can get to a point where you can sustain using all your skills because it's regenerating higher. Now the next 50 points we put into the Space Gem, and I have them in Gravity Well to buff his base health because he is a melee hero, so if we can get health on him it really helps. And the Mastery on this provides you with a buff to your med kit where you take 10% less damage for 5 seconds after using your med kit, so that's really helpful on a melee hero. But next up, let's have a look at the general gearing priority. As always, here then for the gearing section, what I will do is just give a general outline of where you want to actually go with the gearing of the character, and that means in future as new gear comes out you can use this outline and apply the rules of it to help you actually move around and upgrade your gear. Now the first piece of gear we do look at, because this generally defines your build and where you go from here, is the Legendary, and because of Tornado Kick, the Ultimate Nullifier is perfect on him. That's 6000 brutal damage rating to the Tornado Kick, and so you really will be whittling down the boss's health when you have this fully upgraded. Now the rank 5 is great as well because it's a 25% cooldown reduction to leap powers, and your signature is actually a leap power, so if we pair that up with the talent we looked at earlier, you can get the cooldown way down on your signature, which is fantastic. Now for the medallion, I think it's safe to say that if you're a melee hero you want to use Dr. Octopus, the same way if you're ranged you want to use Mandarin. What you want to look for on the medallion and the ring as well is you want to look for brutal damage rating to buff the Tornado Kick. When it comes to the relic, I'm currently using melee, which works great, but because Daredevil is a speed hero, that means he gets a dodge rating multiplier, so if you want you can use the actual dodge relic here, that can work really great. When it comes to the artifacts, as always really you want to look for ones that are boosting your primary attribute, because generally they are designed for the character, so you're looking for fighting and speed. Now when it comes to your slots 1 to 5, you can go a bit heavier on attributes than I normally would, because that in turn will boost the Tornado Kick. It's a tough call to say what one you want to go for, because fighting is great with the crit rating multiplier, but also, as mentioned already, Daredevil has speed and that will actually multiply your dodge, and he really could do with some dodge because otherwise he can be a bit squishy without it. But that's what you're looking for over all those gear slots. Now next up, to finish up the video, as always we have a gameplay run through. I will mention as always again that this gameplay run through is intended just to actually showcase the build and how the rotation works. As you can see, I don't have best in slot gear or anything like that because I don't have time to deck out every single hero that I do a video for in best in slot gear, and certainly if I did do that I wouldn't be getting out as many videos as I do. But the run through we have is the subway operation where we face off against Shocker, and we'll do a full bounty clear as well. So I hope you enjoy that gameplay. If there's any questions or anything else, feel free to ask, and I'll see you all again soon.
Just give me to the cops already.